Hello, Gemini. This is Mary with Seer. Thank you for stopping by. I truly apologize for the week off. For not doing the second week of March for you all, for everyone. I did Aries, and then I just couldn't do anymore. I worked a 4-day show, and in the middle of the show, that the coronavirus thing came, and it took everything I had to stay there and make my living. Okay. Um, And I'm blessed because it stayed open and we did pretty good considering. So, in case you're wondering, um, so there's some really great experiences there, and feel very blessed for where I am in my life. Although in the last week it was really hard to be in my body, and what I mean by that is my own body felt uncomfortable, and I don't know why. Um, I don't know if it's being in the moment, but also there's something else that you should know is that I've always known something like this was coming, and maybe many of you did too. And so I'm kind of blown away at how much I already knew. Okay. So, and it's taken me a little bit of time to regulate my emotions and my energy because of this. It's like when people think you're crazy most of your life, and then you realize that you were, well, kind of saw things different for a reason, right? Okay, so maybe some places where people are right now, I was 2 to 3 years ago, and for other people, there was individuals that were 10 years ahead of me, and 20 years ahead of me, and 50 years. I mean, we all are on different stages, different places in this timeline, right? Okay, so most of all, I think what we need is some advice of wherever we're going right now. So this is going to be, I'm not going to overcommit myself because I would rather give a thorough reading than worrying about getting numbers out right now, which I think that's something we should all consider, but that's just my opinion. This is going to be mid-March, probably the rest of March. If I'm inspired, I'll come back before then, but I will be back for April, definitely, probably half. I'll do half the months right now. This is going to be just general advice on whatever you are concerned about, and I hope that it'll touch everyone in the way they need it the most, okay? I do have readings open. A little bit about my readings. If you book a time, that's the time that I'm going to do the readings, and then it may take up to, because sometimes it takes a while to upload the videos to YouTube for a link, okay? So it may take excuse me, so sorry, up to 24 hours to get the link. Not usually. Usually it's the same day unless there's something really weird going on with the internet, okay? But I will let you know, and if there's any way I can get it done early, I will, because I like being ahead of the game as much as possible. Okay, so here's your spread, and you can just go to the description box for that information. And I want to thank you all for those who booked readings and those who have donated, and just you being here in general and help my channel grow, and how much you've taught me also. So this is going to be your advice spread. I'm just looking at it because I have the details. So it's a 5-card spread. So here we go. First card. This is you as you are, and this is really beautiful. This is closing a cycle, ending a cycle. This is the world, ending a cycle. Okay, learning taking what you needed to learn from this cycle, and that is the way I feel too. Okay, next one is you. Are you on the correct path? 3 of Cups. Well, is there celebration? So it appears that those that are coming through this reading for this collective may be on the correct path. 3 of Cups is celebration and family, friends, and a lot of us have had to make tough choices with family and friends. But those who are left, it appears that there's some happiness here. It is a time to celebrate because this great change has been a long time coming, and it's been needed. And if you're in that place of fear, consider that things might be somewhat different than what they appear to be. Okay. And if you don't want to consider it, that's cool too. It's all good. But however, wherever we're at, it's all good. Okay. The next one is what is the main obstacle? And this is a High Priestess reverse. So if we're in that state of fear, we may not be connected with our higher self. We may be blocking our intuition and the messages from our higher self or the creator, God, our ancestors. We may be blocking information, period. We may be closed off and not closed off to other information besides this third dimension, whatever we've been getting our information from. If whatever situation you're in and whatever you're listening to is creating anxiety, then that's kind of a warning, at least for me, to step away from it and look at why would something be trying to create anxiety? I know, I hear you. You're saying, what do you mean trying? That's the question, okay? All right. Why would a system try to create anxiety? What's their point? I'm going to let you answer that. Of course, I know the answer to what I think it is, okay? The next one is, what is helping me? Page of Swords. This is doing your own research, and I love this because this is so Gemini. It's so air sign, and it's so poignant, so on point. It is, because Page of Swords is doing your own research. It's like infiltration to get your own information. So whatever systems that you're listening to instead of your higher self, whoever you're listening to and it's creating anxiety, why is this happening? That's what you need to research. What's really going on in the situation? How do you do the research? Well, we have internet. We have your higher self. Higher self. Because we're not supposed to be listening to anybody else but ourselves. That's why this hermit mode, we're being put in a hermit mode right now. If you're in North America, United States, sorry. United States especially. It's time for us to figure things out ourselves. Then we understand what the real truth is. What we know our truth to be, right? The fifth card is, how can progress be made? So that depends on the type of progress, right? Nine of Swords. So, Nine of Swords is about the dreams. It's about the fear. Sorry, I had to clear my head. Okay, so it's about the fear, the bad dreams, the night terrors. Okay, so what are you dreaming about? And you should be keeping a log if you can. If you don't remember dreams well, it might be best to keep some kind of log, because those will give you quite a bit of insight. Dreaming about people of the past. And they're waiting, and you're waiting. You're still hanging on to them. Here's one. Here's an example. I'll give you one of mine this morning, because I've been able to remember them more, but I had to write this down for a while. I dreamed that it was an ex from quite a while ago that I would never consider returning to. But there he was. I was busy. There he was. And he was like, well, I've decided I'm not going to try anymore. And I said, that's good. That's okay. I'm okay with that. And then I realized I didn't have my makeup on, and I didn't have whatever. And I wasn't looking all beautiful, quote unquote beautiful, like done up, whatever. And then it was concerned me. Then I realized, why am I worrying about that anymore? He's in the past. Why would I want to even worry about whether I have my lipstick on for him while he's walking away, right? So that's a useless waste of energy, isn't it? But it's kind of leaving that past in the past as saying, here's another thing that you've released, or you need to release. So by putting it in that way, it seemed kind of absurd that this is 25 years ago, a relationship from 25 years ago. And that I would never consider being a part of again. Interesting, right? But there it was. Okay. So Nine of Swords also is about sorting through the stuff that has us in fear, that has us unable to sleep. That's keeping us stuck. These are the thoughts and feelings, but a lot of it's thoughts, just that stuff replaying. What is it going to take us to release some of this stuff? It was stuff we've hold on to most of our lives. Let's release the most painful, right? Let's take one bit at a time and release it as we find out truth, okay? Truth about family, truth about bloodlines, truth about mainstream media, truth about religion, truth about whatever you need to find your truth about. And maybe truth to you is just shutting this off and not listening to me, and that's okay too. There's no big deal. No big deal. Okay. Where are we at? 10:53. So I really think that this is complete, because the beginning of this cycle means, or the end of this cycle is to understand what this obstacle is, It's where we're getting our information. And what's helping you is to search for the truth. And if that means it's on YouTube, if that means it's in a library, if that means it's talking to your dog or watching nature or going camping, or just shutting everything off for a while, then that is where it is all individual. Nothing that works for me is going to work for you, probably, or work for the next person or the next person. And because it's not a one size fits all, you know that. One emotion fits all, one medication fits all. Nothing like that. So we're going to get like 3 cards from our angels and ancestors. See, wherever you're at, when that question of, are you on the correct path? You are on the correct path. Just because your path may be different than my path, that's okay. And if you're saying, oh no, there's no way I'm on the correct path, then how do you get there, okay? But this right here is saying something you're doing is correct. Maybe if it's just listening to a reading or questioning something. Okay. So everything has multiple layers. Okay. So these are the messages from our angels and ancestors. Seer, see beyond the current situation. The reason why my name is Sayre, Seer, is because, well, this has been one of my gifts my whole life, is seeing beyond the current situation. It's just what I've always been. That's why I said I saw this coming for a long time. I always see things coming, whether I want to admit it to myself or not. So you have more information than you know, but the issue has that you've shut yourself off from it. And I don't know if that's because you're afraid of it, or there's a behavior you do to shut that off. Okay. In my youth, I used to do medication, drugs when I was young, so I wouldn't get all these messages because it was too much. But I've learned to embrace it because it's a great gift. And you know what? My life gets out of control when I don't listen to it. That's the bottom line. And I don't like my life being out of control, especially being a Gemini. I don't like that. I mean, there's certain things, yeah, I know I can't control because we are control freaks, But most of all, I need to control my emotions and my thoughts, right? Where my information is coming from, or how it's coming, whether it's true or not. Warrior, this is be fearless and stand strong. So Gemini, there's part of Gemini collective. I don't know why we're being shaken up so much. I think that we're in a way leaders, as even though we're the child in the in the zodiac. We're the children, and that's why we're so curious and so bouncy, and nothing really holds us down or gets us down. We bounce back fast. Maybe that's part of it. We have like a youth, eternal youth, and that's a gift, okay? But it also helps us to be fearless and stand strong in the face of adversity because we believe in the truth. At least when we're balanced, we do. So here's the second message from our angels and ancestors. The third is to surround yourself with protective energy. This is arrow. A little bit more. There we go. Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. It's hard to do that when you're looking in it, because this is where my video screen is. So to see how well it looks, and it's always you're going the wrong direction, right? Okay. Surround yourself with protective energy. That means clearing your space of anything you feel might be negative. Like getting anything of somebody's stuff that's negative out of there, or just cleaning the space. And that's what's going on in your head too. You know, like that dream I had saying, why is that still there? Past needs to be released as that you're on the right path, wherever you're at. But we can always do things better, right? So that would be what is the main obstacle of not listening to our intuition so much. It's a leap of faith to create a YouTube channel and read cards. Let me tell you. And they call it Sayre Seer. And to name your business, Sayre Industries. I did that over 20 years ago. That was a leap of faith. Most people didn't know what it meant, thank goodness. But I did. It was a leap of faith for most of my family to really not like me, because I don't gossip and I don't turn one person against the other, and I don't follow the crowd. Yeah, it's been like a burden in a way, but not really. So this is the thing to embrace. Surrounding yourself with protective energy is knowing who you are and asking for help when you need it, because this is the time to ask for help. And this is the time to reach out to others that can help. You know, anyway, we'll do a couple more cards. So if you need to clear your space, just take a break from certain people. If there's people that you're around are creating turmoil, like I said, listening to certain news or certain information, then that's something to think about. What is it about that person? Because some things are energy drains, and Geminis have lots of energy. So for us to get our energy drained, that means it's happening. It can't be a positive thing, right? It can't be. And so if it's pulling your energy, then it's taking your energy down. And we can't do the work. We can't. It's just hard just to exist when our energy is in a lower vibration. Okay? So I'm not going to do any live readings because my energy is really, I need to take care of my energy a lot. But I am happy to do any readings for you. Okay. I got 3 here. So I have this one. It is Oceana's Prayer, Rebirth the Earth. Start new and begin again. It's the ending of a cycle, and a new cycle begins, right? So she has the world. It's like another world card. It's really beautiful. She's in the ocean, and she has dolphins around her, and this is a playful energy. But she still has a lot of responsibility holding the world in her hands, right? It's like she's keeping it balanced. Can you see it within her arms? But that water energy, that's about emotion, okay? It's about how do you keep yourself balanced as a Gemini? You keep your emotions balanced. And nothing can phase you, and you can see through anything. That's one of the gifts that we have. The next card is a deep secret will come to light. And I'll tell you what, is Rosalind Remembrance. Just because we've swept something under the carpet doesn't mean it's ever going to be safe from being discovered. If anybody else has swept something under the carpet, it doesn't mean it's not going to be discovered either. So, if you have anything that you really don't want to think about, it might be a good time to think about that and resolve it within yourself at the minimum. Because whatever comes to light may trigger it, okay? So it's really important to do that research and be honest with yourself and ask for help from your guides, because you are a seer, okay? That's what they're saying. You are a seer. You get messages, and it's probably in your family. Okay, so next card is Fairy Love. Follow your heart. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful, Gemini? Follow your heart. You know what? I've never gotten this one, so we're going to read this. Hang on a second. I might put you on pause just for a second. Okay. So this card basically is, it's about the alchemical marriage. It says the alchemical marriage depends on the right balance of opposites. Listen to your heart, mind, and spirit. The king and queen are equal partners. This is kind of like that twin flame thing. I swear. Can't get away from it, right? And again, it needs to be within ourselves first before we can expect it in any other realm, in any other place. It has to be within us. And that is balancing our mind, our emotions, and our body. You know, like this week for me, I said my body, I felt out of place in my own body. And so it's because I haven't been doing my walks. I had been working too much. It's having that balance. Let me read this to you. The fairy lovers come together knowing the winds must dance between them at times. They are equal partners. This entails being able to think beyond self and allowing the other partner to pursue their own soul path whilst keeping the magic alive. Only through mutual respect and with the highest love can this happen. This harmonious synthesis that results is the alchemy of creation and true happiness. This painting is set in St. Nectan's Glen in Cornwall. Let me get that back for you. It is an old hermitage and fairy glen. It is said that when Tristan and Isolde, sorry, I'm butchering that, no doubt, left King Mark's castle at Tintagel, they lived for a time in the wood near a hermitage. This site is hidden in the damp forest close to Tintagel. And Nectan was an ancient Celtic water god. Oh my gosh! Possibly the origin of the hermit's name. Fairy energies are often caught on film in this area. That's crazy, because I wonder if this is the water god. I don't know. But this says it's Oceana. Okay. And that's Oceana's prayer. So, I hear you. I'm going to look at it. It's always one away from you, or two or three. Okay. Where is it? Oh, these aren't numbered, so I have to remember how they're done. Oh. Ah. It's like break time, you know, like that music that plays in between. This says, find the situation in your life that needs attention and clean it up. Start over and go forward with a new set of priorities. And this is the World card. See that? Yeah. But it is about your emotions also. Oceana is a water goddess who was lonely and begun to sing creatures into existence with a sound and vibration. Ooh, I like that. She is now concerned with the condition of her realm upon earth. She is once again singing her song, but now to us, to clean it up and renew the sea so it is once again habitable for all of our precious sea beings. Does mankind hear her? When I first sonored by Fundi the dolphin, I have no idea what all this means. This person says that when they first, I think, used a sonogram in the Dingle Bay in Ireland, she felt euphoria from this highly evolved method of communication that, like many others, she was forever changed by the experience. The ocean represents water, and it is cleaning up our emotions so we can clean up everything. It's so symbolic, and yes, we do need to clean up the sea, the air, and the everything. Our minds, everything. Almost every structure needs to be changed to be better. And that's a good thing. Because I think right now we may have the opportunity to do this, to come so far. But that's just my opinion. So, Gemini, I love you, and I'll be back as soon as I can. But please don't forget that I haven't abandoned you, or myself, or the mission. Bye-bye.